Hey everybody, I'm John, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make horchata from scratch. So, I know I've gotten a lot of requests about how to make horchata, and it's not really something that I can tell you guys how to do. I have to show you guys how to do it, so I figured, hey, why not make a video, post it on YouTube. That way it's easy for pretty much anybody anywhere to see how to make it. So, this is just one of the many examples that I've got of how to requesting to make horchata. So, yeah. Okay guys, so for the equipment, we're going to need something like a large container, so you guys are going to need that. And preferably it has something with a lid and with the pouring spout, so it can easily be transported and poured out and things like that. I bought this at Walmart for like $5, not that much, pretty inexpensive. And you're also going to need a good blender, a large spoon like this, and a can opener. And all the ingredients, which I'll explain soon. Okay guys, so for the ingredients, you're going to need milk, preferably 2% or anything above, just because if you use something less than that, like 1% or skim milk, you're going to make the mixture less creamy. You're going to need some vanilla, some cinnamon. Preferably I like to use this one because it actually gives the drink a lot of texture, and it gives it a lot more powerful cinnamon flavor, which is something that characterizes horchata very well. And some sweetened condensed milk to sweeten it. You actually don't put sugar. A lot of people think it's sugar, but it's just sweetened condensed milk. And yeah. So now to the mixing. Two of the most important ingredients of horchata: rice and water. Never forget those. You're going to need them, because after all, this is a Mexican rice drink. So, we're going to take a cup of rice, put it in a container like this. Let me get some more rice, hold on. Okay. Take your sticks of cinnamon, put them in, and put about a cap and a half full of this vanilla. And always remember that the kind of vanilla that you put in will greatly affect the flavor of the horchata, because if you use something like this, for example, it's going to taste really different, because this is about 1/3 alcohol, whereas this one is probably somewhere around 10%, I'm guessing, because it's a lot more flavorful. The alcohol taste is a lot more overpowering. So put that in there, and then you're going to fill this up with milk, not water, milk. Fill it up about this high above the rice line, because the rice is going to actually soak up all that moisture, well, most of it anyway. And you let this sit. If you're doing this at night, just let it sit in your fridge overnight. But if you're going to do it in the morning, you can come back like way later in the day and then just mix it later. Okay, so your finished product is actually going to look something like this. And I know it's a little hard to see on camera, but if you were here, you could see that this is obviously a little more darker, just because the vanilla has diluted through the mixture, the rice has soaked up the milk, and the cinnamon has diffused through, if you will. And now I'm going to show you guys how to mix them. For your blenders, I know that everyone has different blenders, and you're going to want to have the right water to milk ratio. It's about half water, half milk, just for creaminess. And you don't want to put too much of either, because you don't want your mixture to be too diluted. You don't want it to be too not sweet, and you don't want it to be too sweet on the other hand. You want it to create a balanced mixture. So what I do for mine is, when I put it in the mixture and I mix in the milk and everything, I fill it up to all the way to the top, which is about 6 cups. And then the next mixture is just 6 cups of water. I'll explain more later. But yeah, and for those of you, my international friends, the conversion factor for cups to liters is about 1 cup is about 0.24 liters. So there you have it. Okay, so for this next part, pay attention, because there's lots of details. So we're going to put the mixture in the blender. Try to get as much rice in there as you can. So for this first part, you're going to want to let's get this out. You're going to want to put this in the blender alone. No, you're going to want to put that in the blender, pour milk in, probably about that much. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let it blend for about 2 minutes, and then just because you don't want to get like big chunks of rice in your drink. And then once you're done mixing it, once you're done blending that mixture, you leave it in there and you fill the rest up with milk. And then after you do that, you pour it into this container, and then you fill this again all the way up with water and pour that in a container, and that's why it's about half milk and half water. To work my way up. Okay, so about after 2 minutes, it should look like this. As you can see, it's very bubbly, very full of life, just like you will be after you try it. So, as you can see, it's not quite full of milk, right? Like I said, when you mix it, you don't do it full of milk because you want everything to blend right, but you don't want it to blend, you don't want to have like too little liquid that you're not going to blend perfectly. So, fill it up to that. Where's that mark? To that 6-cup mark, which is about right there. We need a little bit more milk, so I'm just going to open up this other one right here. Okay. Oh, there's a lid to this. That's good enough. I'm going to get a close-up of this. This is really creamy. You're going to love it. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look great? And that's just the concentrated version. Now we need to add the water. So this is where your container comes in handy. You pour the mixture into your container. Yeah, there's all the cinnamon at the bottom just plopping down. So you can see I have all that rice mixture on the inside. You want it, oh, I got on my sleeve. You want to take this over, fill it up to 6 cups. Look level. Pour it into your mixture. So overall it's about a 12-cup mixture. Now here comes, this is how you're going to sweeten it. You're going to take your sweetened condensed milk and you're going to open it with one of these guys, and then you're just going to spoon everything in and then mix it around with a big spoon. So or a knife. That works too. So I'm going to pour everything in there. Oh, look at that. The reason we use sweetened condensed milk instead of sugar is you want the creamy taste. It tastes a lot more natural. It doesn't taste like it's some concentrated sugary drink. This is one thing I kind of neglected to do when I was first taught how to make horchata, and I could never quite get it right. For some reason it always tasted like something was missing, and then I realized that I forgot about this part. So you're going to want to get as much as you can out of that can. If anything, you always want it to be sweeter than it should be, because you could just add a little bit and make sure you get the right balance, because if it's if it's not sweet enough, then you have to add more of this. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's not quite mixed. There's a little close-up shot right there. You can see that's all the sweetened condensed milk right there. And then there's the rice and the cinnamon. So we're going to mix everything up like this. I like to just back and forth a little bit. As you can see, you see all that whole cinnamon just floating around in there. Oh my gosh, it's going to give it so much flavor. And now for the taste test. Where's that cup? There it is, hiding behind the milk. Usually what I do is I just dip it in there. Oh, and every time before I try the horchata, I like to mix it up so I get the rice floating everywhere and I get the texture in it. That's part of like the the characteristics of horchata is like when you taste it, you kind of want to taste the texture, not just the milk and the other stuff in there itself. That's part of the experience. So, tastes pretty balanced. John.
Yeah.
My test subject, would you like to try some of this?
You insist. Scrumptious.
There you have it. That's basically how to make horchata. It's very simple to make. You can pretty much make it anywhere you have these ingredients. Just be sure you get the best ones you can so you can get the right flavor, because like I said, different vanillas will give it different flavors, different cinnamons will give it different flavors, whether it's powdered or whole cinnamon, you know. You just gotta find out what you like. So, that's it. And before I go, I'd like to shout out to a few friends of mine. Fernando for showing me how to make horchata, me enseñaste bien, and to my friend Sangi, who is now in Korea, who asked me many times how to make horchata, but I was never able to show him before he left. So if you're watching this right now, Sangi, I really hope you liked it.